What happened to Miss Angel Reese? She's all in Indiana during All-Star, and her Reebok campaign come to your track.
We have commentators laughing at this.
Washington has done that incredibly well so far. Reese missed the first one, still with it blocked.
They realized that they were laughing and then quickly stopped themselves like, oh, I can't laugh. I'm live right now. I can't laugh. I'm live right now. Let me let me get real serious real.
Reebok, a brand gasping for air in a market dominated by titans, decided to bet its entire future on a single player. Led by its new president, the legendary Shaquille O'Neal, the company made a move so audacious it felt like a declaration of war on the sports world. They didn't just sign an athlete. They were trying to crown a new queen, hoping her reign would resurrect their basketball kingdom. But almost as soon as the ink on the multi-million-dollar contract was dry, a terrifying question began to echo in boardrooms and across social media. Did Reebok just orchestrate a marketing masterstroke, or have they committed the most catastrophic self-inflicted blunder in modern sports history? The answer began to unfold not in press releases, but on the court, where commentators were caught laughing on live television, and a nightmare for Reebok was just beginning. Is creating viral content for all the wrong reasons. And with her signature Reebok shoe, this isn't just a bad bet. It's a full-blown endorsement crisis. If you agree this is a bad bet, then comment "Fire the baby giraffe." Let's go.
The Washington Mystics just put belt to ass on Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky. Sonia Citron was out there cooking with hot grease. Stir the pot. Stir the pot. Keep cooking, Sonia. That was a show. She put on a flat-out show versus Angel Reese in the Chicago Sky. Boy, did they ruin Angel Reese's homecoming.
Before the viral bloopers and the public relations crisis, there was the meteoric rise. Angel Reese wasn't just another college basketball player. She was a cultural tidal wave. After transferring from Maryland to LSU, she transformed into the Bayou Barbie, a figure of immense talent and even bigger personality. Under the fiery guidance of Coach Kim Mulkey, Reese didn't just win games, she put on a show. She led LSU to a national championship with a ferocious combination of raw power on the boards and an unapologetic swagger that captivated and polarized the nation. Her brand was built on confidence. She would taunt opponents, point to her ring finger before the final buzzer even sounded, and deliver sound bites in interviews that were pure, unfiltered charisma. She was everything a marketer dreams of, a personality so magnetic and defiant, it was impossible to ignore. Reebok saw a future icon, someone who could move merchandise not just with her athletic prowess, but with her very presence. They weren't just buying a basketball player, they were buying an attitude. Layups, while attempting the third most in the entire WNBA. It's almost impressive how consistently inefficient she is at the most basic shot in the sport. We're talking about a 6'3" professional athlete who is missing bunnies at a rate that would get a high school freshman benched. At this point, it's less basketball and more experimental theater.
The Chicago Bravado once again got their ass kicked. Angel Reese was so bad last night, the announcers calling the game, they were laughing at her performance. Check out some highlights for yourself. Well, KC, you always do this. You select a couple of bad plays and try to convince us that Angel Reese isn't a superstar.
This wasn't just another lucrative endorsement deal. It was a profound legacy play. Shaquille O'Neal, in his new role as president of Reebok Basketball, personally handpicked Angel Reese to be the centerpiece of the brand's revival. The plan was monumental: give her a signature shoe, the Reebok Reese, scheduled for a 2026 release. This would make her the first basketball player to receive that honor since the game-changing, culture-defining Allen Iverson. The parallels were intentional and heavily promoted. Reebok CEO Todd Kinski openly compared Reese to legends like Iverson and even Shaq himself, framing her as a revolutionary force. The message was hammered home. Angel Reese wasn't just here to play, she was here to change the culture. The expectations were therefore astronomical. She wasn't just supposed to score points, she was supposed to ignite a movement. But what happened next is a cautionary tale that no one, especially not the executives at Reebok, could have ever seen coming.
This was an epic embarrassment, bro. Remember, this is a pro basketball player. Won a national championship. Their calling card they'd like to hang over is she beat Caitlyn Clark. Remember that. Watch this.
Don't show me the miss. Angel Reese picks it up. What she's good at. getting another offensive rebound. She says, "Give me that. How about another?" Persistence trying to pay off. Jones gets a piece. Angel Reese won't give up. Jones with another block.
Are you serious, guys?
And sure, someone will argue that her field goal percentage sits at 44.4%, which seems respectable. The transition from college superstardom to the professional league was not just difficult, it was brutal. The bright, unforgiving lights of the WNBA seemed to expose every flaw. Almost overnight, the dominant force from LSU seemed to vanish, replaced by a player who started going viral for all the wrong reasons. The internet, a tool that had built her fame, now became her tormentor. Clips began to flood social media. Not of epic dunks or game-winning shots, but of inexplicable, repeated misses right at the rim. The statistics were even more damning. In her rookie season, Reese was shooting a shocking 31.5% on layups, the most fundamental shot in basketball. It's a number that would get a high school player benched, yet she was attempting the third most layups in the entire professional league. It was a recipe for disaster. One sequence against the New York Liberty became the stuff of internet infamy. 4 straight missed putbacks in just 12 seconds, with 2 of them swatted away with humiliating ease. The Bayou Barbie was now the unwilling star of blooper reels, her worst moments set to circus music, as commentators were caught on a hot mic, stifling laughter before quickly trying to regain their professional composure. For Reebok, this was no longer a marketing plan. It was a 5-alarm fire.
454! Let's get it! Bang! Lack of awareness combined with a lack of ability to jump. Not great! Bang!
Me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow, me bow.
Yeah! Again! Do it for me. Me bound! Bang! Okay.
With her dominant performances in June, she earned her All-Star selection. But these aren't just a couple of bad plays. These aren't bloopers. These aren't rare moments. This is the norm. The same thing happened last week when the Chicago Bravado got their ass kicked by the Minnesota Linkers. I don't have to convince you that Angel Reese has no impact on winning. Just look at her record, look at her resume in the WNBA.
You cannot tell the story of Angel Reese's professional career without invoking the name that has become her shadow, Caitlyn Clark. Their rivalry, born in that fiery NCAA championship game where Reese famously taunted Clark with the "you can't see me" gesture, followed them to the pros and metastasized into the league's central narrative. While Clark was shattering scoring records, selling out arenas, and being hailed as the league's savior, Reese was struggling to find her footing, her every misstep magnified by Clark's success. The tension reached a boiling point during a game where Reese was hit with a flagrant foul for striking Clark in the head while going for a block. The incident exploded online, cementing a public narrative that had been building for months. Clark was the brilliant, humble prodigy, and Reese was the aggressive, unsportsmanlike villain. She was no longer just competing against other players on the court. She was fighting a relentless war of public perception, a war she appeared to be losing badly.
I'm no expert in math, but it looks like Angel Reese wins 1 out of every 3 games. If I remember correctly, Angel Reese has beaten a team with a winning record once this season. So you tell me how Angel Reese impacts win.
She had a good game, 22 points, 13 rebounds, but she shot terribly. She got bailed out so many times, throwing up brick layups, getting phantom foul calls from the refs. She did make 10 of 11 free throws, so that is good. 6 of 16 from the floor is not good at all. 0 of 1 from 3. She was a minus 11. Listen, man, Kiki Ariafin got the better of her.
This constant comparison and on-court friction helped solidify the villain edit that has come to define her public persona. The same unapologetic confidence and swagger that were celebrated as empowering at LSU were now widely interpreted as arrogance and poor sportsmanship in the WNBA. Every on-court stare down, every flex after a rebound, and every defiant post-game comment was scrutinized and used as evidence against her. She became an easy target, a lightning rod for criticism from fans and media alike. This created an impossible situation for Reebok. How do you market a player as an inspirational, culture-shifting icon when a significant portion of the audience is actively and loudly rooting for her to fail? The very personality traits that Reebok had invested millions in, her boldness, her fire, were now becoming a massive liability. fueling a narrative that was spiraling out of their control. The baby giraffe memes and the endless TikTok compilations of her misses weren't just fan chatter. They were the public actively dismantling the brand image Reebok was trying to build.
Great ideas. Wants to bring in talent to grow Reebok and like have people wear it again because no one does. So one of his genius decisions was this. Fucking signing her, Angel Reese. If you don't know who she is, she's the queen of like fish out of water going after a rebound that she shot herself and can get in the net ever. She reminds me of a 3-year-old shooting on those little kids' nets and throwing the ball and just completely missing the mark.
A struggling player's story is often inseparable from the story of a struggling team. And the Chicago Sky was a team in turmoil. The dysfunction within the organization provided the chaotic backdrop for Reese's personal struggles. The team limped to a pathetic 7-21 record, at one point suffering through a demoralizing 8-game losing streak. The situation became so dire that their head coach was fired mid-season, leaving an interim coach, Tyler Marsh, to try and salvage the sinking ship. This context adds a crucial layer of complexity to Reese's situation. When she sat out 5 games with a back injury, the team went winless, creating a bizarre paradox. They were terrible with her, and somehow even worse without her. It was like being on a leaky lifeboat. You know it's going down, but it's the only thing keeping you from drowning immediately. This raises the critical question, is Angel Reese the cause of her team's deep-seated problems, a symptom of a dysfunctional organization, or is she simply a young player caught in the crossfire of a franchise in complete disarray?
Like, she is so bad that when Caitlyn Clark and her were supposed to face off against each other the other week, the ticket sales went down from $100 to like $5 because Caitlyn Clark got injured. She had a quad injury, so she wasn't playing. So guess what? No one wanted to go watch. And if you don't know Caitlyn Clark, she's pretty much the GOAT of the WNBA and is the reason why people are watching. No one watches you, Angel Reese. No one watches you. The only thing that I enjoy watching is all the clips on TikTok of you just countlessly just missing every shot that you take.
But just when the narrative seemed set in stone, a plot twist emerged that confused everyone. Amidst the viral blunders, the brutal stats, and the public backlash, Angel Reese was named a WNBA All-Star as a rookie. It was a stunning achievement that directly contradicted the failure narrative being pushed so heavily online. How could a player who was the subject of so much ridicule also be officially recognized as one of the league's elite? The answer lies in the nuance of her game, in the one area where she is undeniably world-class rebounding. Reese is one of the most dominant rebounders in the entire league, particularly on the offensive end. Her relentless, ferocious hustle is what creates so many of her second-chance opportunities right under the basket. But this greatest strength is also the source of her most visible weakness. It's that same chaotic, all-out energy that leads to the wild, off-balance, and heavily criticized putback attempts. She is a walking paradox, an all-star talent whose most memorable plays are, for all the wrong reasons, her failures.
Stop it. There's a dude on the internet who cracks me up. On TikTok, he's put together a load of Angel Reese clips, and it'll say Angel Reese part 36. And it goes, Angel Reese going up for another layup. She misses. Bang! And I mean, dude, it's the funniest. And my whole thing is this, dude. She just seems as uncoordinated as a baby giraffe. Yeah, I mean, come on, man.
This entire saga has become a marketing department's worst nightmare. Inside Reebok's headquarters, the mood has reportedly shifted from celebratory to panicked. The bold bet on a personality-driven star is backfiring in spectacular fashion. Whispers from industry insiders suggest the company is in crisis mode, scrambling to figure out how to salvage their multi-million-dollar investment. One rumor suggests they are considering pivoting the strategy for her signature shoe, marketing it not as elite performance gear, but as a lifestyle sneaker, a quiet admission that its connection to on-court excellence is toxic. Another theory is that they will delay the 2026 launch indefinitely, desperately hoping she can turn her game around. The core of their problem is a fundamental brand misalignment. Endorsements work because they are aspirational. You wear a player's shoes because you want to emulate their greatness. As one critic bluntly put it, you don't put on a pair of Jordans hoping to miss. Reebok is now faced with the terrifying prospect of launching a signature shoe for an athlete whose signature move is breaking a layup. The clock is ticking, and the 2026 launch of the Reebok Reese looms not as a celebration, but as a potential judgment day for both a player's career and a brand's future. The company has poured millions into marketing campaigns, teaser images, and a narrative of empowerment that is now being drowned out by a cacophony of memes and mockery. Every single day, the pressure mounts. The fate of a young athlete, the reputation of a legendary brand, and the outcome of one of the biggest gambles in sports marketing history all hang in the balance. Will Angel Reese find a way to harness her raw talent, silence her critics, and live up to the impossible legacy Reebok has assigned to her? Or is the world about to witness the spectacular collapse of a hyped-up star and the launch of the most infamous, unsellable sneaker in the history of sports? The world is watching, and Reebok is holding its breath, hoping for a miracle.